Hi, Professor. This is Colton Kelley. And I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for the due date extensions for the past 2 weeks' assignments. Those are getting worked on. They'll be turned in as soon as possible. And I know due to the circumstances going on in the world, we're not able to meet face to face. And so I've just hooked up my visual aid to my TV, and it works. And then I've got lighting set up, and this is the best I can do, so I hope everything looks good on your end. And then also, due to the technicality and a lot of the statistics I use in my speech, I have made a calculation sheet on the third or fourth page of my prep outline where they list everything. Sources are listed along with numbers, and so that's on the third or fourth page of my prep outline, which I turned in. And so with all that being said and done, I'm going to start. So imagine you walk out of your house, and it's a beautiful day, sunny day, and you live in Springfield, Illinois. And as you look across the horizon, you see little buildings popping up. And your city, just like millions across the United States, is being powered by clean, renewable nuclear energy. So after extensive research on the subject matter, I have determined that nuclear energy is the best renewable energy source for the United States moving forward in the future. It costs less, generates more power, and is less harsh on the environment than any other renewable energy source we have at the moment. So first the question stands, how much electricity is generated by all three forms of renewable energy that will be mentioned here, nuclear, wind, and solar? So nuclear energy generated and has the capacity to generate more electricity than wind and solar combined. If you look at the production numbers from 2018, nuclear energy accounted for 20% of the total United States energy production for 2018, yes. And so, if you use those same numbers from 2018, the United States used almost 4 billion megawatts of electricity, as stated by Statista. The average nuclear power plant by itself can produce almost 4.7 million megawatts of electricity. So if you take the total amount produced, divided that by how many megawatts one power plant can produce by itself, that would give you roughly 841 nuclear power plants needed to power the entire United States. Now if you take solar, for example, a solar panel of every 10,000 of them can produce 3,600 megawatt hours of electricity. So if you take the total amount divided by how many panels are needed, you would need 11.2 billion solar panels to power the entire United States. Now secondly, it's also important to weigh the financial costs and how much land we're going to use in determining which is the best option for the United States. Nuclear energy costs less both financially and geographically than the other two sources. So to power the entire United States using electricity, it would cost roughly $5.1 trillion. And this is used from data from the Tennessee Valley Authority's Watts Bar power plant that they installed, where it cost $6.1 billion to build. For comparison, using solar would cost around $10 trillion, while wind would cost less at around $2 trillion, and that is from Energy Sage and Windustry. But what those two numbers don't take into account is the grid's inability to store electricity in times of excess and times of bad weather. If the sun's not shining or the wind ain't moving, you ain't going to have no power. Now, in terms of sheer land mass used, to generate power for the entire United States, we would need to have a solar farm the size of Hawaii. That's almost 6,200 square miles. It's massive. And using wind turbines would require a lot less. Only 1,500 square miles would be used in that. And that's based off one turbine by itself, taking 1.5 acres of land for one turbine. This is a good part for nuclear energy, though. According to the Office of Nuclear Energy, a typical 1 gigawatt facility only requires 1 square mile to operate. And so, if we have 841 of them, and only take 1 square mile, it's only 841 square miles of land used. And that's roughly the same size as Rhode Island. So lastly, we need to consider the damage to the environment. So, nuclear energy is much less impactful than the other two energy sources that I've listed. According to Argonne National Laboratory, nuclear energy is the safest, if not safer than possible, out of any energy source that we have. 96% of the fuel used in the process is recyclable, and then the other 4% is sealed in vaults underground, so where it can't harm anyone, doesn't safe. Plus, all the energy is generated without carbon emissions, so it's a win-win. Wind turbines, as noted by the EIA, cause death to local bird species and bats because when they're flying, wind turbine just goes flat and they die. Not good. We don't want that. And solar, it's not much better either. So due to the immense size and area required by solar farms, a lot of the land cannot be used for agriculture, and then any native animals that live there, they have to relocate or they die due to crops failing. If it's hot, it's not good. We don't want that. And all that information comes from the Union of Concerned Scientists, both the windmill or turbine data and then the solar farm data. So, to wrap up, nuclear energy presents the best value and efficiency out of any renewable energy source due to its cost effectiveness and how much it doesn't impact the environment. We have discussed the cost of it, how much electricity it produces, and the output of each plant, and then how it affects the environment compared to wind and solar. So after leaving this discussion, I urge you to spread awareness about nuclear energy, mainly how we can use it in the future to make our future much brighter and more prosperous than it already is. And so with that,